Hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, now in this one, we are going to discuss what is referred to, and I've seen a recent post on this, and this is why, another reason I was going to cover this anyway, but it's funny how this just happened to coincide with it. Chore burnout in the game, and overall burnout, yeah. So let's go ahead and show this post here on Reddit, for example. I'm going to get into things here. We're just going to pick this apart a little bit, and then I will cover what I wanted to do before this. Let's see, the amount of chores for a mobile game is insane. This one, yes, it is quite a great deal, even for an ARPG game on mobile. Yes, I will agree to this. It has gotten a bit out of hand. Grind is the name of the game when it comes to these kind of games of the ARPG format, but it has gotten a bit excessive and continues to do so with the ridiculous amounts of various currencies in the game that we have, that we either accrue a lot of or we burn through them very, very fast. One or the other. There's no middle ground. But nonetheless, I do like some of these suggestions, and I definitely do agree with them here. Let's see. Reduce the vanguards to 3 runs, but double the rewards. These are obviously going to be falling into the category of wishful thinking, because I highly doubt the devs would do that for us, for these quality of life changes, no matter how much we might scream into the void, as it is said on Reddit, in a lot of cases. And I get it, they want that activity, and that's fine, because we do want that activity overall for a gameplay, game life, so to speak, for the activity of the game itself across the board to be as lively as possible. But there's a reason why it has started to drop off in a lot of ways, and this kind of falls into that category for the overall burnout. And that's why, they say a lot of people have, kind of just tacked off, or they take a break, or they don't return at all. And that is the case too. Not just in this game, but in a lot of games. But since we're talking about Immortal, these are certain things that do cause that to be a problem. Going to try to circumvent that with a couple of ideas to kind of space out the gameplay and focus on the most important things, and you actually don't have to log in on the day-to-day basis. We'll get to that here in a second. Let's continue on with this list real quick here. Double the gem drops of Hidden Lair, Verge, and Erebon. Yes, whenever Winds of Fortune, this shines a bright beacon onto this. Whenever Winds of Fortune comes around, I've done a couple videos covering that and when the best time to activate the buff and to make the most of it to triple your normal gem drops. But yeah, this Winds of Fortune definitely highlights this, and I would definitely like to see this as a permanent fixture overall instead of just when that comes. We have not had a Winds of Fortune in a little bit now. I can't remember the last time we had one, so we're due for one here. I forget if it was in the last patch notes or not off the top of my head, but I think we really are due for one. Hopefully we'll see one soon. Again, let's see, double the Fading Ember for Elder Rifts from 10 to 20. That would be nice. It was nice when it took them forever, mind you, for them to go from 8 to 10 Fading Embers for an Elder Rift run. So going from 10 to 20, that would be nice too. Even increase the overall pool, or let's cut the pain points out to where we don't need to do the party dust. Forming for parties, running crests. We can do that on our own. It doesn't, whatever crest we run only affects us on an individual level anyway. So we can remove the whole having to run in parties out of the equation. I mean, that's kind of funny to say now, considering right now we have the speed run Elder Rift party event thing going on, of which I haven't even done yet. But no matter, I'd really like to see that the party dust get attached onto just the single runs and just put that in one pool and be done with it. But anyway, let's see. Reduce terror rifts to 5 per week, but double the rewards. Again, doubling the rewards. I mean, I'm all for it, honestly. And I love this little add-on after that. They're like, add an effing party finder. Yeah, well, see, that's what the problem. There used to be one somewhat whenever you would go to the terror rifts in the past before, because they were on a bit more of a timer. Now, ever since that's the one drawback of them being turned into a 24/7, you can run the terror rifts anytime you choose. They change maps every hour, but that's about it. But that in turn caused us to have to go into various chats in the game and call out saying, hey, who wants to run terror rifts, blah, 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 blah. And then you also have the unfortunateness of the drop in, drop out players that only do one run and done, and then they vanish, and then and if you're trying to do the daily party gems as well in the process, a lot of us have noticed that has become a much more slower process, RNG, all that kind of thing, but it feels like that has been slowed significantly in ways that we don't like. So yeah, I would definitely like to see a party finder, a proper party finder, that is, for terror rifts separately to be added into the game. That would be glorious. Raids once a week only, but double the rewards. Again, doubling the rewards I get, but I'll get to why this one I can understand why, but not really should happen because of the other things I'm going to get to here very, very soon. Some dungeons need to be reworked so they feel less tedious. It's funny because the Lazy River comes to mind. That one is still being used as such, but it is just a very, very drawn out map compared to most of the other ones now, because you are timed on that one in the raft riding part of the map, and it feels very, very tedious and slow compared, with all the dashing around that we do in the game now. So yeah, I get that. Let's see. I'm not gonna keep reading. Okay, that's good enough. But yeah, that is pretty much the basis of what I was going to discuss here. But now I'm going to give the main things to focus on and break it down. Now, they said the raids. We'll just start with there. Very simple. Raids are twice a week. Monday and Wednesday. Monday and Thursday, excuse me. Monday and Thursday, raid resets. Vanguard, same thing. Monday and Thursday. So, your main heaviest days that you have to be in the game, for the most part, will be on Mondays and Thursdays. You get a 3-day, there's a 3-day catch-up mechanic they have in the game, which is why I wanted to point this out here. Because you don't have to log in the game every day. You can take a breather. You can, hit it heavy on Monday, hit it heavy on Thursday for the raid and Vanguard resets. Get those down, get those out of the way. And as far as, I don't have it on here. Hold on one second. I'm going to switch to an alt and show. All right, now back on my alt here. I actually didn't mean to do my dailies so much on my main, but here we are nonetheless on an alt, so I can show this. Again, going back to the 3-day catch-up mechanics that they put into the game. This a nice reason for this, and it's something to take advantage of if you are feeling the chore burnout. Because your battle pass chests, they go 3 days worth of claims, so you can go hit everything on Monday. Like I said, raids, Vanguard, even your daily party gems. Get your daily chests done for the Monday, right? And then this one over here as well, the rewards claimed for completing dungeons. Get that done on Monday. All that stuff. And then in the process, yes, there's the weekly tasks for Shadows and Immortals, but you can kind of divvy that up however you so choose. I'm just trying to focus on the main activities to focus on and spread it out across 3 days. And then come Thursday, you don't have to log into the game. Like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday. Come back on Thursday. You will have this, what this looks like right here with the rewards claimed of 0 and 3. Then you got your catch-up mechanic. I would suggest at that point, of course, you get your Terror Rift runs in and hit them heavier. Do as many as you need to get your party gems caught up for those 3 days that you had missed, because there is also a 3-day catch-up mechanic to your party normal party gems that as well to take advantage of. So, and then, of course, on that Thursday, you got raid resets, and Vanguard again. And then basically wait 3 days after that. That would be, let's see, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It doesn't quite divvy up nice, mind you. So yeah, I guess you would have to come back on Sunday and do that process again. But then, if you think about it, on Sunday tends to be the Rite of Exile, Vigil of Blades, that kind of event for your clans and so on and so forth. So that might be a nice little catch-up day as well. And then, of course, you have to hop back on Monday for the start of the week resets all over again. Throughout all that, of course, you're going to have to divvy in your Shadow Quests or Immortal Quests, mind you, yes. And, of course, your weekly normal gems throughout that. However, you can also mitigate that down and get into a party, do Abyssal Verge runs. A lot of players do these on the weekends. When it's a lot easier, of course, set aside time for that on the weekend, so on and so forth. What I'm saying is you have options. Plan accordingly. Plan however it fits into a schedule. Don't make it feel like a chore. If it ever gets to that point, obviously, I'm just trying to give options in this video here and break it down to the most important ones to focus on. Of course, are going to be on the raid reset days on Monday and Thursday. And then do the 3-day catch-up mechanic. Terror Rifts are your best bet for getting your party gems caught up the fastest. And, of course, getting your Terror Rift runs in for the week for the 10 essences overall. And again, like I said, for the party gem or the normal gems for the week, you can do the Abyssal Verge with a group. On the weekend, whatever works best for you. You get the idea, hopefully, at this point. But yeah, so there are options to take advantage of, and I implore you to do so. I definitely implore you to do so, because yes, it has gotten very, very tedious, very, very overly grindy. When you first start out the game, there's a whole lot to take in, so it can be overwhelming, to say the least. Just find what works for you, start getting into a pattern and a schedule, and you'll start to find to make things easier. Once you get to this certain point, which not in this character, mind you, this is one of my alts, so they're very, very far behind on a lot of things. But once you get to a certain, once you get closer to max Paragon, things will start to level off. Once you get your gear upgrades in to the maximum 30 on the legendaries, currently still, they didn't raise it yet. And then I think we're up to like 20, 25, 20, I forget what we are on our set pieces. But once you get those, of course, maxed out, it's just a matter of filling in the rest with running rifts. Oh yeah, your Fading Ember Dust for the week, which is discussed in the Reddit post, and divvying that stuff up. But again, just breaking it down one more time. Split this stuff up into 3-day intervals. You don't have to log in every day. If you need that break, if you need that breather, take full advantage of these 3-day catch-up mechanics that are in the game. One more time, rifts, raids, Vanguard are your reset markers on Monday and Thursday. Fit in everything else in there in between. Your daily battle pass chests, you have a 3-day catch-up mechanic on. Your normal party gems, you have a 3-day catch-up mechanic on. And you also have a 3-day catch-up mechanic on the set piece here, claims for doing dungeons. So there you go. Like I said, you'll still have your Shadow and Immortal quests to do so, and of course Shadow Wars, that kind of thing. But that's a little bit more of a login real quick, hit that for like 10 minutes or so, and then log back out again, and you're done, kind of situation. Same with the Tower Wars. If you're involved with those, log in for those. If you signed up, obviously, that means you're going to be there. You know, get in, get out, and you're good, right? No harm, no foul. So anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world, and far as always, take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. If you have any other questions, you know, obviously, or just comments. Helps out the algorithm, helps out the channel, helps out all the things get distributed elsewhere. I do appreciate you as always. And until next time, see ya.